Hey guys, Zero here again. My apologies on the delay on making these videos, but my son and I have been recently on the grind for Apex, and it hasn't been the greatest, but it has been fun, and it has been interesting. I was able to reach Diamond, and I was able to help my son get Platinum. For now, let's get into this build, because this Bannerlord set is just phenomenal. I don't know how else to say it, but to me, I think I honestly do more damage than my last previous Impale build that I posted. Now, mind you, you don't have the bleed aspect of it set up, specifically the 3-piece seismic bleed, extra 50% damage. But I think you're still doing more damage overall just because how fast you're getting your impales. So going on to the gear, obviously with a 3-piece set, and now that they've updated it and improved it a bit, now it gives you a 35% anomaly. Now I think that should have been 50% just to go hand in hand with the seismic commander set that gives you 50% bleed damage. This one should have gave us 50% anomaly damage. Now, however, that's just my opinion, of course, but I think that would have been perfect. That would have been the icing on the cake. That would just be like, damn, maybe I should end up using this build more often than my seismic commander, because as they posted in the thread and in the update, they said the seismic commander has always been the go-to gear for Devastator, and they wanted to deviate from it. So I personally think that if it would have gave us that 50% anomaly power increase versus the 35, it would have just been just perfect. But again, like I said, that's just my opinion. Now, reading the 3-piece bonus set here increases your anomaly by 35%. Also, tremor explosions that damage an enemy reduces cooldown every next impale by 15%. The bonus stacks up to 60%. That set alone and that bonus perk is just crazy. Now, mind you, I play with this gear aggressively, and in all honesty, that is probably the only way to play it, because there's no need to worry about ever dying. There's no need to worry about never doing enough damage. Your impales are going to be doing anywhere between 3 to 10 million damage. Depending, and if you play with people, you're going to probably even doing more just because of all the debuffs and all the crazy jazz. But your impale is going to be doing so much damage. You're going to be seeing in the video, I did frontline in less than 7 minutes, which is not bad. Less than 7 minutes seemed reasonable. I did Boomtown in less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes 53 seconds to be exact, which is really good for Impale build. Again, this is an extremely viable build, and I always like to present you guys with variations of each build and survivability, because to me, I think that's the most important part of it. Like, if you're a glass cannon but you can't survive, then what's the point of even having a build? You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. I don't like giving you guys builds that you're just going there and just instantly just gonna die, or you have to play a specific way to stay alive or whatnot. This build, you can play however you want. In all honesty, you could play aggressive, play passively aggressive, play whatever you want, and you will survive. All the mods in this thing are just phenomenal. Maybe there's one mod in there that I would change specifically to try to increase my damage, but overall, all the mods in here are phenomenal, and they're going to help you out stay alive. They're going to help out increase your bleed damage, increase your impale damage, your leap damage. Everything is just insane. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the gear. On my helmet, I have Shredder, Palisade, and Danger Close. Danger Close is a must-have, I personally think, on a build like this, specifically because of Tremor. Now think about it. Tremor, you need to activate it within close range of enemies. That way you get that 15% cooldown reduction, and you'll see the chunks of 50% being reduced on your tremor, and you'll see in the video how quickly I end up getting my impales back. It's just perfect. So Danger Close says it grants 6% anomaly power bonus for each enemy in close range, stacks up to 4 times. So you're already getting a 24% more anomaly damage just alone from this helmet, and that is the reason why you're able to reach those 2 millis, those constant 2 millis, and 3.2 to 3.4 milli. Prior to the update, I was able to get 4.4 milli anomaly power, but I haven't been able to reach that again because they obviously fix Mage's Rage, because that was a whole bug issue with that one. But we'll talk about that later. So Danger Close, again, a phenomenal perk to have, and I personally think it's a must-have for this build because, like I said, since you're activating Tremor within close range, it just helps out, increases your dominant power above 2 million, and you just see your Impale just doing an excessive amount of damage. Moving on to my chest piece, I have Sacrificial Altar, Rivers of Blood, and Ultimate Impale. Now, if I had a choice, I would maybe swap out Sacrificial Altar, but it's honestly up to you. I think a Sacrificial Altar is really good because it says you receive 20% bonus of either firepower or anomaly power, depending on which is higher. And since our anomaly power is always going to be higher, we're always going to get a 20% increase in anomaly power. So that's beneficial, especially when you combine it with Tremor and Leap and stuff like that. You're always going to be in a fight, and you're always going to quickly kill those lower life adds that's going to give you those fear. So it's something to consider. Again, this is how I like to use it. You don't have to use it this way. You use a different chest piece maybe that would give you something different, a different mod. For example, maybe you could run a chest piece that gives you Captain Hunter or Despair. Despair is a good one, and I'll talk about that later. But for now, let me go back to my chest piece. My next mod on my chest piece is Rivers of Blood, of course. That's pretty self-explanatory. Increase 30% of my damage to enemies afflicted by bleed. Now, the only thing that you have here that inflicts bleed is your Impale from your skills. But I have this Final Penance that has, to me, a really good row with bleed at the bottom. Now, mind you, you don't need to have something that inflicts bleed because your Impales already do. But mind you, if you inflict bleed first with your gun, or any gun for that matter, then your first Impale is going to do a lot more damage. Versus having your first Impale to inflict bleed, then your second Impale is going to inflict bleed again, but it's going to do more damage, and then your third one, and so on and so forth. So if you can start off inflicting bleed straight up, you're going to do a lot more damage for bosses and for stronger captains and whatnot. But all the smaller adds, you can easily just do a simple Impale, and it's an instant kill them. So you don't have to worry about that. So that's something to always consider. Either have a weapon that inflicts bleed automatically, or just go using your Impales because they're going to inflict bleed as well. Of course, Ultimate Impale, it activates my skill 2 times before its cooldown, which is really good. I'm running 4 Impales, 2 Leaps, and of course my Tremor. You can't get any better than that. Like, that is just awesome. Now, you could run the extra Impale for hitting additional targets, up to 4 targets. That's nice, but it's not really needed because of all the mods you have with it. So moving on to my legs, I have Stronghold, Postmortem, and Vlad's Grasp. Now, if I really had to change a mod here, I would change Stronghold. I would try to get something else, like I said, with either Captain Hunter or something else that would increase my damage of my Impales. Now, Stronghold is not bad. It is honestly not bad because it helps you and it helps your allies, and it gives you 24% of resistance and armor for 10 seconds, but the bonus does not stack. Now, mind you, it's not bad. Since you're popping Tremor within close range, it works perfectly, right? It helps you out. It gives you that survivability that I'm talking about. But you can honestly do without it. That's just my personal opinion on that. But again, it's up to you. Postmortem, just phenomenal. I talked about that before in my last Impale build. I'll put the link of my last Impale build, which was pretty awesome. I appreciate everyone commenting on that one. Thank you for that, and thank you for everyone who's been watching it. It's been awesome. But to me, again, Postmortem, to me, it is really good. Enemies killed by the skill generate up to 3 additional spikes, impaling enemies within a 5-meter radius from the enemy killed. So that one's just good. You get a kill, 3 more spikes go up, and then it just within a 5-meter radius. So basically, you're just getting like a total of 12 Impales now. Basically, Impale, additional Impale from this Postmortem, and then an enemy dies from that. Another Impale. It's just crazy. Your Impales are just, to me, I love Impales. I love doing builds with Impales. I've always enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys enjoy this build as much as I have. Now, Vlad's Grasp, oh my god, like, you have to run it. Now, I used to be against it, and I used to be like, nah, there's no need for it. And if you really think about it, there's really no need for it because you're in close range. But every now and then there's always an ad that runs away from you, and you just look at him from across the map and easy kill him. Now, that's a must-have. I eat my words saying that, but it's just great. Vlad's Grass is a must-have. It makes the build more viable and more fun. So definitely try to figure out a way to incorporate that into your build, because I enjoyed it, and I think it's just phenomenal having it overall. And you'll see me in the video. I'm just like mapping people across the map with that skill. It's just so good. Moving on to my arms, I have Double Jump, Anomaly Echo, and Arms and Anomaly. Now, obviously, Anomaly and Echo and Arms and Anomaly are self-explanatory. They're increasing my Anomaly power and my firepower by X amount through crit shots and then activation of skills. That's pretty self-explanatory. And it's a must-have, I think, just so you can increase your Anomaly, and you'll get, this is helping you get over that 2 milli to 3.2, 3.4 milli that I keep telling you guys about. It's just great. Now, Double Jump is really good for this build specifically. The reason why it works perfectly with your Mage's Rage and your Death Gnome, specifically your Death Gnome, because it says when 2 of your equipped skills are on cooldown, you receive firepower. Again, we're not worried about firepower too much. We're worried about more Anomaly. But it says otherwise, you receive 160,000 bonus Anomaly power. Now, if I don't have 2 skills on cooldown, then I'm receiving Anomaly power. But if I have 2 skills on cooldown, I'm receiving firepower. So if I can keep 2 skills not on cooldown, then my Anomaly power is always going to be increased by 160,000, right? So that's where leap, the double leap comes into place. So I can use a leap to get me into the areas of the enemies, and then I can pop my impels, and then once I run out with that, then I still have an extra leap, and I still have my tremor. So I'm always going to try to keep that 160,000 of extra Anomaly power. But of course, it doesn't hurt to have an extra 177,000 of firepower either. So if you could time it exactly or perfectly, that's what's going to help you reach that 3.2, 3.4 milli Anomaly damage because of Death Gnome and because of your crits and all that crazy jazz. So remember that when you're doing this build and when you're using it in any content of the game. So moving on to my boots, I have Sharpened Spike, Captain Hunter, and Impale. Now, obviously Sharpened Spike, pretty self-explanatory. It increases my damage of my Impales. Now, mind you, I'm playing this at level 31. So these spikes are going to be doing a lot more damage as you go higher in Apocalypse tiers and so on and so forth. So you're going to be doing more damage, basically. Now, Captain Hunter, I have Captain Hunter in my boots. I wish I was able to incorporate into any of my pieces, my armor pieces, Despair, because the perk on it, Despair, says enemies within a radius of Gravity Leap will receive 30% more Anomaly damage, which this works perfect for everything if you think about it. So let's say we hit a target, or targets for that matter, we jump in. Now everyone within that radius that got hit by Gravity Leap is going to receive a 30% more Anomaly damage, which means your spikes, your impales, are going to be doing more damage, which means your Anemoi is going to be doing more damage because that's Anomaly based. So I like using this perk specifically for a boss fight. Specifically a boss fight. Now I use this ability more on trials than I do like expeditions, because my impels are already doing enough damage. Yes, that 30% more damage is useful, Anomaly based, but I feel like my impels need to be doing a larger range of damage versus a single point target damage. Again, that is just my opinion on it. You can test them out. I was honestly able to do more damage with the 16% Captain Hunter than I was with the Despair of my 30% more Anomaly damage. So moving on to my weapons, I have Final Penance with Mage's Rage and Death Gnome and Ultimate Bleeding Bullets. Now, Mage's Rage, everyone knows, was buggy and was causing your Anomaly power to be increased basically 2 times fold, which is probably why prior to the patch, this build alone I was getting 4.4 milli anomaly power. I think there is a way for you to kind of get close to that still, but the highest I was able to get my anomaly power was 3.4 million after the patches and after the bug fixes of Mage's Rage. So it's still good. So you still do a lot of damage, and because of that extra anomaly power from your 3-piece Bannerlord's armor, it's extremely not noticeable. I mean, if I got that extra 15% like I talked to you about, that'd have been just icy on the cake. But again, that's just my thoughts on it. So Mage's Rage, Death Renome, and Ultimate Bleeding Bullets just works perfect together. Obviously, I'm inflicting bleed through my weapon here because my Ultimate Bleeding Bullets, which then increases my first Impale, then my second Impale has increased damage, so on and so forth. Crit shots are increasing my anomaly power, and then Death Renome, if you use it perfectly, you'll increase your anomaly power. You'll have your anomaly power a little higher every single time. So kind of play with it, figure out what you need to do, what combination of skills, when to pop your skills, and so on and so forth, so you can keep your anomaly above 2 milli. Trust me, no matter what you do, I mean, automatically, if you get those crit shots for Mage's Rage, you're already close to 2 milli. And then with your helmet, danger close of a target, you're already above 2.5 milli. So you'll see how this setup stacks up in anomaly power, which makes it just so much fun. And of course, my Nemor with Moaning Winds, Radiation Splash, and Firestorm. To me, that's a god roll, Firestorm. You could have Combustion Reload, but I'm fine with Firestorm. Moving on to my class, nothing special about it. Basically the same tree from my previous Impale. I still went the armor piercing route just so I can increase my armor piercing for my Impales and whatnot. I did, however, go increase anomaly bullets, which increases my firepower by 15% of your anomaly power, which is not bad. Since I have so much anomaly power, my weapons, my Nemor is going to be doing a lot of damage. It doesn't hurt to incorporate that. Moving on to my packs, I have obviously Impact Point, Obliteration, Earthen Shell, Upheaval, and finally Multi-Strike. Everyone by now knows how these 2 nodes work, so that's really good. It helps out increase your damage for your next Impale and so on and so forth. So make sure you incorporate this into your build. And my Ascension Points, basically all anomaly. Increase your damage through elites, cooldown reduction, of course, and whatever else you want. Brutality or endurance. If you're for some reason you still can't stay alive, then add some armor. Entirely up to you, but mainly stick with the anomaly base tree here. Obviously, my skills I'm running are Impale, Tremor, and Gravity Leap. My Impales alone are already doing 2.3 million damage, just because of the way I have it set up. Now, trust me, you're going to do a lot more damage than that once you incorporate everything and you get your anomaly going. So this concludes the entirety of the video. If you guys ever have any questions about why I use specific mods or specific nodes or any weapon for that matter, please put in the comments below and I'll happily get back to you. I enjoy reading you guys' comments and I enjoy replying back to them because it honestly helps me think of my next possible build, specifically when you guys have questions pertaining to why we use this, or maybe give me an idea, hey, maybe you should use this versus that. That helps me out a lot and I want to say thank you for that. So if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and turn that bell notification on. As always, I appreciate the comments and I appreciate everyone watching my videos. For now, thank you so much and have a blessed day.
I hope you're in the mood to dish out some death and dismemberment, Outrider, because we got more insurgents knocking. What do you say you help me out once more, like in the good old days? My soldiers will take heart seeing you fight by their side again. All you gotta do is kill everything you see, and don't stop until you've wiped out every last one of them.